pants make me look fat.
Oh, well, you know, it's funny. Somebody was telling me, it was like, oh, you look so much fatter on PND than in person.
You or me?
Me. Yeah.
What? That's messed up.
Yeah.
If I heard that, I would take it too hard.
I don't know.
Sure.
Like I've heard people just tell me constantly twice now. I'll say twice, not constantly. But that I look better. Huh? Good. Yeah, that I look better in person than I do in photos and video.
That's a compliment, I think. Yeah, because there's so much editing that has to go into the online world, whatever we post out there. Yeah. I think that's a compliment. I usually get that too. And people say, oh, you look younger in person. I'm like,
huzzah.
Yeah.
Yes, queen. Let's go.
Let's
Snap it up right
Thanks,
there.
Mom.
It's always worse when it's the opposite too.
Yeah, no, I've been getting like, oh, you look 23, 24. I'm like, thanks.
Aww.
I'm about to be freaking 30. You know how I feel about this, guys.
Yeah.
I'm like ready to cry. But I'm planning like a good trip for my 30th, like a Bali in Thailand, possibly.
Oh, okay.
Take off for like 3 to 4 weeks and just
wow,
fully
3 to 4
explore
weeks.
that.
Okay, so we have some work in between that.
You're invited. So.
Oh no, I meant more just like we gotta shoot a podcast, a couple episodes deep. But
no, it's
if
not
we
gonna
go Bali with you, I'm gonna do a podcast out there.
Yeah,
sure.
like,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm super serious. Like, I'm definitely trying to plan something February next February.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be good company. Unfortunately,
why?
Thailand. I'm gonna just party it up.
Listen, I'm gonna cheer you on. Be like, listen, that's better than fucking porn. So go and do your thing. I was like, yes, Derlis, this is your place
moment.
to be. Yeah, go shine.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's get back into it. PND episode 10. You know who it is, Derlis
and Paulina. Welcome back.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Let's talk about summer. How?
No, I want to talk about that guy you're telling me about. Yeah, because everybody thinks that we're together. No. She tried. I swatted her away from this penis. Like, no.
No, yeah, everybody does think that, and I think it's just. It was meant to be. You know how I believe in that. Whoa. Whoa. What are we laughing at right now?
OnlyFans, guys, you'll get that one.
We should do like a private content, for everybody. Oh my God. Just spread more rumors.
Buy them a coffee. That's all it takes.
Yeah, okay. that's
there you go.
That's really what
placement.
the case.
Good placement. Yeah. There's the song. Buy me a coffee. Yellow. What the duck?
We do. What the duck? We need some coffee here to keep on going. No, but a lot of people keep on commenting on me and you being together, and it's like, oh, like you guys have great chemistry, you guys would be a great couple. I'm like, okay, so based on chemistry, we're just gonna be a great couple. That's great. I love it. But if that was the case,
I'd be fucking a lot. But no, that's unfortunate. I'm dry. I'm drier than dry. Yeah. So
honestly, sometimes that's better. I feel like.
I don't know.
It's
been like
energy.
6 months. Okay. 6 months, yeah.
I went a year without having sex once.
It's easier for women to go,
I mean, I guess.
I mean, for anybody.
No, I feel like it depends on your sex drive, but also, I mean, I didn't really have another choice then. I mean, obviously, masturbation was a big part of my life at that moment, but somehow you have to just let it out so you don't go manic and kill people. Which I don't
like. I could last. I think a year. Well, maybe if like no masturbation, I'd definitely there'd be an itch. I'd be disturbed.
Wrong decisions would be made.
But that'd be wild to kill somebody just because like, oh, I can't get off.
No, it's just like the tension, the buildup of like if you need something and you can't have it. Like I feel like I would go manic. I wouldn't obviously kill somebody, but like I would be manic, kind of like a hangry moment. When you're like, everything irritates you. But what was I gonna say?
You were gonna talk about this guy that.
Okay, no, I guess I just wanted to talk about, because I wanted to understand men's perspective on friends with benefits. Like, this is something that I was never about, because I've always been in a relationship, and I believe that, giving your body to a random person is not the greatest feeling, at least for me. And I think a lot of women can relate to it, where, you know,
Go on.
we
Yes.
do like a one night stand, and in the moment it feels great, but then the next day you're like, what the hell? Like,
then you're doing it all wrong. I swear to God, if your one night stands don't equate to wow, what a night, then I'm
you're so
100%
psycho.
sure you're doing it wrong.
Or maybe he was doing things wrong.
Oh,
you
he
never
was
know.
100% doing
Yeah.
it wrong and right for himself. like well for you, right for him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know. So I never understood the concept of the friends with benefits, like having one person to just sleep with because you're comfortable with, but like why can't we just be more than just that, right? Because eventually someone's gonna catch feelings, at least in my world, and then like it's a weird situation of like
yeah. You leave me hurt, Poe. You leave me hurt.
I would never.
There you go. More evidence.
There is a secret love here, guys, just so you know.
100%. Me and Victor. That's why.
There's definitely a bromance going on there.
I'll be honest. His wife kind of hates me for it.
Oh my God.
So just a little bit.
No.
Yeah.
But continue. Sorry.
But yeah, no, it just like I want to understand, I guess, how the definition of friends with benefits in the male perspective. Because to me, it's like, okay, we're friends, we trust each other. Whenever we want to have fun, we have fun. But it's more so on like an exclusive level, where I believe when you are friends with benefits, you should have enough respect for the other person to inform them, hey, I might be sleeping with somebody else. You know, like, what?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't
wanna
inform that
who
person?
The only time I want to know is like, oh, I stepped into an orgy, or like, okay, did you get tested? Okay, cool.
Right.
Like,
So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's more on like a safety level. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, okay, do you inform them like, hey, I have slept with somebody last night. Like, I just want you to know, you know, just so you know for your own self. And then moving forward, you know, let's say you guys didn't use protection. Now it's time to use protection because you slept with other people. And now like I'm concerned for my health. But there's a lot of guys out there that are so down to do all the friends with benefit things, but they also, I feel like, want to have the best of both worlds, where, you know, they don't want to tell you that they sleep with other people because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But like if a woman asks you, literally looks at you, is like, hey, it's okay, you can sleep with other people and you can see other people because we're not together, but just inform me. I feel like that should be a no-brainer. It's strictly a communication between two adults, and it seems as though it hasn't been a thing, at least in my dating life nowadays, and that's just like nasty and like just disrespectful in my opinion. So I wanted to know how you guys would see yourself in like a position like that. What?
No, I'm just thinking about Victor's position.
Well, you're married, Victor.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, what is your position on this, Victor?
I mean, I'll say this: I have zero experience, and I've never slept with anyone I wasn't already in a relationship for like at least a few weeks.
Okay.
So,
Love that.
So from my perspective, I'm not sure if I could give an accurate perspective on somebody else who's been in that position. I mean, I can only imagine, like, for me, it just comes from a perspective of people do that for, you know, obviously enacting, getting the
mic closer.
The pleasure and the natural side out of it, you know, getting the urges out, just the activity becomes an activity.
Right.
Whereas in a relationship, obviously, it's more than
intimate.
that. It's intimacy.
Yeah.
Connection. So when you separate that, obviously, that's a whole different psychology to it.
Right.
You know, so I have not explored that before.
I'm like learning. Because I've always been like you. We've had these conversations. Victor's old school. I'm old school too. Like I normally wouldn't give my body to anybody unless I am pursuing that person or I'm already, you know, seeing myself with that person. And we're actively dating. But I wanted to learn how to be single and be okay with having sex without catching feelings. It is hard, obviously, but I feel like once the boundaries are set from the beginning and there is a formal communication and proper communication, then like if I catch feelings, then at least I know, you know, hey, he doesn't look for anything, so I have to back out a little bit before, you know, I get hurt. But there's a lot of people that just oh, let's just be in the moment. Let's just have fun. But then there's never a boundary set, or, hey, are we exclusive? Or, hey, are we open and doing our own thing and just, just like whenever we feel at the moment to have sex, let's just have sex. Like, I don't think I could do that where friends with benefits, but we're all fucking million people. Like, I can't do that. Personally.
What the duck? I'm just gonna say that a lot. So I just
The duck is great. What an outfit.
Yeah. We're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what camera. I'm gonna look at you because you're so pretty. Yeah, you're so pretty.
Love.
All day. So you want to find out and figure out why men or how men think about
friends with benefits. Yeah.
And you want a perspective from Victor because he's married, of course. Yeah. So, yeah.
I kind of knew his perspective. I mean, like I said, he's old school like me. And this is my learning
I'm learning.
era, I guess, just because I've never been really single other than obviously when I was like 20 years old. But just nowadays, things are so much more complicated in the dating scene, I feel like. Social media is obviously not helping with that. People get distracted left and right. But I think people just know that they have so many options and they don't want to just be like stuck with one. Keep all the doors open just in case one fails. I have all the options too. And I hate that, you know?
There was a study about this, how women keep at least one backup door or like one person relatively ready if they need to go out of the relationship.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, more women than men. And this is like for married women, for like just those specifics in that stance versus a man that's dedicated.
That's Victor.
Yeah.
The good ones are still out here.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like there are people like you and like Victor that, like obviously are more conservative in the mind of just like and I think it's just maturity at the same time, where it's just like a lot of people aren't in the mindset of like, oh, let me just be with one person now, be okay. I think Rick and Morty weighed in on this when they were just like talking about like an app being made and everybody just like goes to the next person, because you can have chemistry. And this is why me and Paul aren't dating. It's like sometimes you just gotta keep people where they're supposed to be, which is business or just friendship.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like understanding that even though you might have chemistry but you're with somebody else and you might be in a low point with that person, you have to try and work it out with that person. That's what real love is work. It's just like making sure that, you know what, we're not giving up. We're making sure like whatever this problem is, maybe I'm not attracted to you. We have to figure that out. Maybe I need to find love. Like love has to be created. It can't just be like, oh, just because I found something fun or, a new person and they sparked my interest. That happens all the time. That's going to happen. And it's just like, but you have to understand like, just because that sparks an interest, you don't just dive into it. But as far as friends with benefits, I had that, and it was beautiful, and one of my most regretful situations I ever got to be in, because instead of being with that person, I decided, let's just just have space and have fun. Obviously, I was healing anyways. More so, I was broken. I don't want to say healing, but I was broken. But she was so loving. But I told her like, I don't want to make this serious right now. And eventually it just ended with instead of having somebody that I could have today and just really be like, oh wow, she's a great mother, she's a wonderful wife.
Now you missed out on a good one. Yeah.
But like me and Victor talked about this, because like forgiveness of self and like carrying that guilt within you is something, they say that the reason why you can't love yourself is sometimes because you have guilt and shame about something that you've done in the past. Even though like, Victor pointed out so perfectly to me, it was just like, what would you say, Vic? It was just like, go ahead.
Yeah. So I remember the main point I gave you that day was that
it was yesterday, but
yes.
He said that day. Like it was
okay. Yesterday it was that to forgive isn't necessarily mean to forget. It's not a
Right.
justification. So I think most people equate forgiveness with justification, but they are not one and
That
the
wasn't
same.
the point I wanted, but that's a good point. Continue on. Continue on. Yeah.
So the forgiveness is for yourself, you know.
Right.
So just so you can
So
move on,
Mhm.
but it does not mean that you forget the situation. It does not mean you justify their actions, and
Right.
does not mean that they regain trust in the
Mhm.
situation. Those have to be earned, but this way you can let go and you can move forward, and
Right.
you're no longer have these negative emotions tying you down.
I usually get asked that question, like, "Oh, I've mentioned that on the earlier episode where, oh, like, how are you still such a pure soul after going through so much in your life because of that? Like, you know, I forgave everyone for doing me wrong. Obviously, I'm never going to forget that. But for my own sake, for my own mental health, I had to forgive. And it takes a long time to do that. Sometimes depends on the trauma. But just like you said, if you don't go through the work that has to be done, you're not going to be able to be in a relationship, and you're going to miss out on good people that come to you, that universe sends to you, because you're not healed and you know you're not ready for a relationship. But then, like, you're like, damn it, like, you know, I wish I've healed and I've forgiven the past people for doing me wrong, so I was ready for that person that came to me to build with me and be with me.
I do wonder, like, the what ifs, you know, like that. And I discussed this with Victor again yesterday, but the idea of you thinking back of like, oh, what if this, what if that, and the endless opportunities that could be, and just, you never know. And
Rabbit hole, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same words. And it was just, the fact is like, you don't know what could have happened. You could have killed each other, or like it could have been an ugly divorce, or it could have been, you know, all negative, or it could have been all positive. You don't know. Like, you don't know which opportunity you miss out on.
Right.
But you just have to continue going forward regardless of like what happened in the past. And you kind of have to just accept that, and just like you're doing, like, wish them, hey,
Best,
but I'm gonna just keep doing me. As far as like what I think of friends with benefit, obviously communication kind of lies within that. And if you miscommunicate or go across the boundary or any lines that you guys drew up, then it's obviously a time to conversate and just be like, okay, let's make sure we're clear. Or if this isn't working out, then you know, we have to leave.
My thing is, like, people really need to get on the same page if it comes to friends with benefits, because like I said, everyone has a different understanding. So, you know, to me, friends with benefits would strictly be like, we're not communicating other than when we want to do the dirty, right?
Really?
I mean, so, okay, so like, for instance, in my case, I would go over to just snuggle somebody and not even have sex. And then the next time we would go have sex. So it's almost like a beginning of relationship.
But that's what
you know what I mean? That's what's confusing. Like, if you are friends with benefit, I believe that you can check up on each other. I'm not saying don't talk at all, but I'm saying, like, if someone's communicated with you throughout the day, every single day, and then, you know, then all of a sudden you hear, oh, there's another chick in the picture, but I don't know about it. Now I'm like, now you offended me. Now I feel disrespected because I've asked for a pure communication, which I have been giving him. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, so it's just one-sided. And I don't know if it's because sometimes people pleasers don't want to tell you things to hurt, not to hurt you. But if you know, if someone is asking for, what's that?
That's cowardice.
Yeah.
That's not,
if I'm asking
I'm
for,
not trying to hurt you. It's like, well, you're hurting me.
But I asked you for communication.
Exactly.
Like, I was the one that was like, hey, tell me if there's somebody that you are going to.
Tell them like this. Hey, tell me. Like, clap that their face. That's what you need.
I mean, D, you're
I
right.
get so heated when I feel disrespected. Oh my God.
Go ahead, Vic.
No, I was going to say, you're right. It's cowardice, because it really comes from a place of fear.
Right.
You know, because it's not that they don't want to hurt you. It's that they don't want to sacrifice the relationship that you have
so
right now.
they're selfish. But I'll be honest, if you're going to go with a lie, just lie and don't say anything. I honestly, I wish I kept the lie for myself and died with it, because it would have changed my entire life if I didn't lie. I mean, if I did
lie,
these
but
are
you
like
didn't come true.
subconscious impulses sometimes from these people because of the fear. They don't realize what they're scared of. They're just like, first thing that comes to mind. It's like, I don't want to hurt you. But what it really means deeper is that they don't do that self-analysis. So it comes off very two-sided.
I think it's very selfish, like you guys said. I think it's like you want the best of both worlds, and especially when, like you said, like when you were doing the friends with benefit with that lady,
with that lady,
you were saying like you were broken and you were unhealed, and you didn't know what you wanted. So obviously, it was still nice to have her around to cuddle, to get touched. Like we all want to get touched, obviously, but then.
That's the T-shirt right there. We all want to get touched. Like,
that's my love language.
Yeah, there it is.
Another T-shirt right there.
Merch is coming soon, guys. We're actually gonna brainstorm about this very soon. But I just thought I felt very disrespected, and also I'm somebody who is so good at communication where I want to address something right away, and I understand that not everybody is like that. So when I found out, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking rip his ass apart. I was just going to be like, this is so disrespectful, especially when you're friends with someone prior to becoming friends with benefits. It's like a whole different disrespect to me, at least, like you should care enough as my friend to come true to me, so
but
it's
one thing that you did say that you mentioned that I really liked was the fact that like, it's almost the start of a relationship. Yeah. And that's sort of like how I viewed, I guess, friends with benefits. I know that's probably not how you've done it, but like I guess, fell into relationships that way where it's just like, okay, we're just doing it. And then like little by little, like, okay, well, let's just make this into, like, obviously we like each other. We like hanging out with each other. Might as well just,
make it official. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like if you are, as an unhealed person, you're scared of loving again because you have unhealed traumas. Once you start catching feelings, I feel like you're going to back out a little bit. Start backing out. You're like, oh shit, like I do like this girl. I have nothing bad to say about her. We're vibing. We're on the same page. But like I'm catching feelings and I'm not ready for it. So you're going to almost like self-sabotage a good potential relationship because you get in your I mean I don't care. I got options. So it's like
wow.
But I'm just saying, like
that's I think that's also what makes you so attractive, or a person attractive in a way where it's like you have the strength. I have options. Go ahead, try me, motherfucker.
Try me, motherfucker.
But just like that.
And it's crazy because I even told him, I was like, once I'm uninterested, is that a word? Uninterested. That's when you're gonna chase after me, and that's gonna be too late. So next.
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
but it's like, I had to get to that point where, because again, like I'm a relationship person. So once I have my eyes on someone, that's it, right? But then if that person is not ready, what can I do? I'm not just gonna chase after a man. That's super masculine, and I'm trying to step into my feminine energy. We all know that. I think it's a balance. I know it's a balance, but like I'm talking about, there's nothing between us really other than just, a semi.
Like, but the question to me is like, what is chasing a man, honestly, in some.
Like if someone, so what I tend to do is because I'm used to that, and that's because I'm used to that toxic action of when a man is emotionally unavailable, I automatically am like, okay, let me make you emotionally available. So that's my chase. Like meaning like, okay, let me show you can be emotionally available. Let me be that man in a way where it's like, let me make you feel secure and safe so you can come to me.
So you're like,
what's that?
You're the savior.
Yeah.
You got a savior complex. You're like, good luck, Chuck. Good luck, Paulina. Just
what's
like,
the duck?
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with you? But that's what I mean by chasing. Like I'm just used to fighting for the relationship to work so much where I tend to chase, meaning like, oh, you don't know the answer to my problem or like a solution to our problem. Let me try to help you figure it out. Like I'm always the one that initiates the solutions and the answers, like tries to help find the answers. And I feel like that's really like masculine in a way. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I was put in positions in my last relationships where I had to be the one like, holding the relationship, like holding it up to, like together, you know, while the other person was like, oh, I'm not ready to conversate yet, you know, I'll let you know when I'm ready. And then I'm just sitting there and like, I'm ready now, like let's make the moves, like let's figure it out. There is a problem, you're not the problem, I'm not the problem, we have a problem, so how are we solving it? But I think what you said earlier, Victor, it comes with maturity, you know. But yeah, I was like, I pretty much straight up told this guy, I was like, listen, I'm gonna be uninterested very soon because you're not getting me what I want, and I just ask for communication once again, nothing else, and I'm not getting disrespected. I'm not getting it, or I'm getting disrespected. So, you know, once I pull out, then you're gonna be like, shit, I lost a good one, and then it's gonna be like bling bling bling. Why do you guys do that always? I feel like men in general, like once you lose something good, then it's like, oh shit, I
don't think it's just men. I think it's everybody, where hindsight is 20/20. Where I've seen women lose good men, and then of course hindsight 20/20 kicks in, and then they're just like, but you, and then they cry it out. It's like, yeah, it's just like, you know, I think we're just human and we're imperfect in that sense, and it's okay. You just have to be able to withstand, you know, the pain that comes along and being inflicted by people that are not ready. But at the same time, you have to be willing, and that's the scary part. It's like, I'm gonna have to try this again,
right?
Like, and again and again, until we find somebody that's willing to, okay, let's work at this. You know, we're going to make mistakes and it's going to happen, but we're going to.
I just think we need to do better as nation with communication.
As a nation.
Paulina
2024. Okay, yeah.
No, but seriously, come on.
As a society?
Yeah, that's what I meant, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, as a nation / society.
All you need to stop being fuckboys right now, okay?
Specifically in the U.S.
Yeah. No, it's just the communication part bothers me. It's like, we're adults, you know, we're not in high school anymore. Why are we playing games with people's emotions?
Life is high school. I feel
like life is game, period.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, it's just somebody
that's learn.
Yeah, that's willing to work in it with you and, you know, be able to understand, to grow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, you know, I think my ex put it in so beautifully. Is she said just like, we're all on our journey, and some people take more time to grow than others, you know, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen, you know. It doesn't mean though. don't like two knots. Don't do. Yeah, don't do. Yeah, exactly.
Don't do.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it will happen for you.
Right.
You know, which is a reality that you have to. Because I'm dealing with the reality of just like, oh shit, I'm getting a little too older, and I'm just like, oh my god, when I'm 40. I'm figuring it out. But yeah, when I'm 40, which is 5 years from now,
that's insane.
Trying to date somebody that's, you know, capable of having kids. That's around 25 to, I want to say 30, which, you know, at the same time, like when I'm 40, it's like, that's an age difference of just, I'm thinking of different things. My body hurts in a different way than what you're thinking about. Like,
but I think that's a good age gap nowadays. I think that men tend to mature, on average, a little bit later. Yeah. I've read this article, which was 45 is an average, apparently, for a man. But that's to mature.
Yeah. They say that 40 is also their financial peak, like when they start growing to that.
I love that. Yeah, so everything is kind of like pushed back nowadays, which sucks because like the nature is nature, and women still have biological clocks. And I feel like nowadays we're getting to the point where like I feel like I have to date someone so much older to even be on my maturity level. I'm not saying I won't find someone at 33 that is within the same maturity level, but it tends to be a thing nowadays. I mean, with Ashley that we just had on our podcast, I mean, that, and then Carolina, the same thing. Like, it's just becoming a thing where the age doesn't even matter anymore. It's more like the maturity level we're on. That's what's going to grow.
Still matters, though. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think about, like, forever love? Do you believe in forever and ever?
Oh,
that's like a deep question, but I was thinking about this the other day.
I think I have forever love from my mom, my dad, my family.
No, I'm talking about like a romantic partner. Oh. Like, do you believe that you can be with one person for the rest of your life? And
you can.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's gonna be happy or not.
Right.
That's
right. So let's say happily ever, forever, ever after. How do you say it when you get married?
Happily ever after.
Ever
To death
after.
do us part.
Yeah.
Right. That is scary. That sentence to death
To death
do us apart.
I mean, you did it.
I'm doing it. I mean,
I would honestly look at you and I'd be like, that's a false statement until you fuck up. That's when we're gonna be together.
Well, I've heard it this way: when you have a back door, you'll always go through it.
Okay.
So it's like that's what those vows are. It's like to in sickness and in health, in poor and in rich, and all that. It's meaning that you're
gonna put effort.
You're gonna put in.
Victor is a terrible example as far as like, hey, do your marriage like mine. I like the way you put it. I was just like, if you have a back door, you're eventually gonna use it. But like to me, it's like you have insurance, right? dude, I would get a prenup. Did you get a prenup?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
There is nuance to it. Like nothing is black and white. Yeah. So it's like the nuance. Of course, it's a commitment from both sides. Right. So there is a threshold. If someone is not willing to commit at all, where you have one deficit on the other side, there has to be like a breaking point where this is like toxic or unhealthy, and you address it and you address it again, and if it doesn't go anywhere, then that's it. You gotta every time you address, it always has a scale and consequence.
Right. And if it doesn't, you gotta let it go.
And then eventually it comes to a breaking point because you shouldn't stay in anything, but it should engage as long as you're both willing to work on it and have conversation and tackle the problem.
Right.
Then yes, I believe you could probably have happily ever after. But both people have to be going for it.
Put in effort.
It's not like a switch that just like, great, you got it.
Speaking of that, I had I was working yesterday behind the bar, and this guy that I know from like the past, whatever, nothing ever happened between us or anything, but just like a guy that I know, he brought this chick with him, and I know her from like bartending scene, and I was under assumption that he was married, but I haven't seen him in a long time, so I assumed maybe he's divorced and he has a new girlfriend. This man tells me that he's married and this is his mistress. And I was just like, what the fuck? I'm sitting there. I'm like, Jesus, this world is going to shit. And then I didn't comment on it, obviously, but I was just curious on the way he was, like, why?
Nonchalant
about it. I was like, can I just, like, I'm not judging you, but can I ask you a question? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, why don't you just let go of your wife if she's not giving you what you want and you have a whole mistress for the past 2 years? And he's like, well, it would have to be a discussion, not in this setting. If you have questions, like I can talk to you on the side, but like not right now, which I was like, okay, like I respect it. But I just thought, which we didn't discuss further, which I will, because I just want to know. But I pretty much put it in perspective for him. I was like, I was married once. I also have been in relationships that were long and committed, and I got cheated on and people wouldn't let go of me. And I told him, I was like, this is so dramatic and such traumatizing experience to be with someone who's not giving you what you're looking for, but they're not letting go of you. And you're in like a position where it's like, well, I love him, but like he's not giving me what I need. So why is he not letting go of me? Like, how are you married still, have a whole mistress, do your thing constantly because you're rich, so you're allowed? That's what he said. I was like, okay.
That kind of makes sense.
No.
That makes complete sense.
Like if I would, I don't care how much money you make as my husband.
You don't. His wife does, though, I'm sure.
That's insane to me. Like, why would you want to be so unhappy? No matter.
Who says that she, like...
She is definitely not. Come on.
Again, I don't know the relationship. You're just telling me the scenario. So from the scenario, I don't know if he communicated with his wife already about having a mistress.
I asked him. He said no.
Okay, then that's a whole a little piece. Yeah, again. But do they have kids?
I don't know that. I didn't ask.
Okay, yeah.
But I would.
Saucy.
I don't know. It's just like weird. It's what the dog. Yeah. It's like I got, but like he literally sat there and was like, yeah, I got money, so I can do whatever I want. And I'm like, not in my world. I would definitely not allow that.
Well, I mean, like in your world, which is the real world, which is basically the worst that can happen to him is divorce, and then she leaves, and then he just goes.
Yeah, but that was my question to him. I'm like, why don't you just leave her?
because
it's more complicated. I'm like, okay, every man fucking says that. I don't want to hear it.
he doesn't want to lose half his shit. That's the complicated part. And also, I would assume just like maybe he does love her, but he likes
so
her.
be honest then. I have a mistress, so let her have the equivalent.
Why would you ruin a good thing that you got going on? Like I'm just going from his mentality of just like, if it's going well, then I don't understand. I get what he's coming from. I really do. Like I don't understand why it's so complicated.
Men.
It's not complicated.
It really
it's a
isn't.
lie is a lie. It's not morally right at all.
No, but I'm saying, tell her, hey, I have a mistress.
Why? Why
not?
Because they're ruining it, put you in shit.
Yeah, but he's gonna get caught anyway. At some point, he's gonna get caught.
He hasn't. Like, do you
he
understand?
will get caught though. Like, it always comes out. At least I'm telling you, I find out everything.
I'm sure. Like most of the time, it does happen. But he's just riding his life out. Just like, this is fun.
It's just like, why would you marry somebody and then disrespect them like that? I don't get it. Just I can't. It that just does not click in my head.
You know, again, I can't speak on like, because if neither could Vic.
Like, people are not scared of karma. It's crazy. I've seen the karma fucking people's lives up.
And I've seen.
And I'm just like, you are fearless in that aspect. I mean, listen, I'm fearless in a lot of ways that I live my life, but not with. I don't fuck with karma. I mean, have I made mistakes? 100%, but they were not such mistakes to ruin people's lives.
Do you live life by karma?
I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm not gonna do it because karma, I'm gonna get my ass. But I just know morally what's right and wrong, and I stick to the right. Have I made mistakes? 100%.
So you've never done something that was like, karma's gonna get me back for this, but fuck it.
I mean,
I'm curious. How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know what's right and wrong?
Yeah.
I think
what's your compass?
I think I was past good. My dad's calling me right now. Daddy. I'm like, Dad, we're live on podcast right now.
Yeah, you can talk to him. Sure.
He just hung up.
Oh, okay.
But I think my parents have passed like such good values that I know what's right and wrong to people. Like, you know, I'm not gonna put myself in positions that potentially can hurt somebody. Let's just put it that way. Whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, I try to stay away from situations like that. But I have done certain things. You know, I used to lack communication, so I
improved.
Right. If I've improved for sure, but also just like hurt multiple people in the past by not being so clear on the communication. You know, like
I didn't expect that from you.
Yeah, but I was younger and I wasn't trying to play games or anything. I was just like, hey, like I'm not interested anymore. Bye. And like I didn't.
But that's harder to do when you're in a marriage.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
I can only imagine just like, this is boring, and you can't just exit out at that point. Like you, like. And when I say like you have to work, it's like that's the crazy part.
You have to forgive and you have to.
Yeah, but that's the crazy part where you're just like, oh shit, do I just let this go? Do I continue loving her, or do I just like, you know, I know a particular situation where a guy is like, the wife won't divorce him. They're not in a happy marriage. They're just in what's that shit
Business
after
marriage.
death and like in between death and heaven or like something. Purgatory.
Okay.
Yeah, when they're just in purgatory, just of this marriage where neither of them is having sex. They're just like, we don't even
just
like,
coexist.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to marry divorce because of her religion. So
oh my gosh.
So
okay.
yeah. It's because he's asked her like, do you want a divorce? Do you want a divorce? Like 5 times. And she's like, nope, we're just gonna go through this. The kids are grown. But she still doesn't want, and that's wild to me. I'm just like, Jesus Christ! Like,
why does she just believe that she's never gonna get married again? So it doesn't bother her.
I don't
That's
know.
why she's gonna stay.
I haven't had the combo with her.
I know a couple that the husband has a lot of money.
Yeah,
and he has a son with the wife. But he pretty much sponsors the wife's entire life.
Yeah.
But he also have a girlfriend of, I think they've been together for 5 years now.
Oh.
And she's like waiting to get engaged. She's waiting for the marriage. But realistically, he's not divorcing the wife.
Yeah.
He is not divorcing the wife because he has millions of dollars to lose and he's just not doing it. And he flat out told her like, hey, like I'm not going to divorce my wife anytime soon. You are my girl. I take care of you. I make sure you know that you're the one. But at the same time, like I can't Like, it's just, you're not going to get what you want. And now at this point, I was trying to put myself in her shoes and like, what the hell do you do? Like, you want to get married, you want to have kids with this person, but he's flat out telling you he's not giving you what you're looking for. So what the hell are you doing with yourself, you know? But yeah, marriages are tough. I can understand why a lot of people don't want to get married nowadays, because it is a business transaction at the end of the day, and you really can screw yourself over if you are marrying the wrong person.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's
so I was thinking about it.
Whoopsie. Yeah,
I was thinking about it. I was like, if I was to get married,
yeah,
because I do believe that everyone comes to your life for a certain amount of time, whether it's 20 years or a month. They come in, they serve the purpose, whether it's to teach you something, to be your mirror, you know, and so pretty. What the duck? Wait, this shirt is epic. I love it. Guys, I was telling there is the other day, not the other day, actually a couple hours ago, that the first 5 letters of my last name, so Kaczor, in Polish, it means duck. So when I saw his shirt, I was like, this is fucking lit. I love it. We're having a duck on here. It was meant to be. Love it. Love the shirt. But yeah, marriage is a tough topic. And I've always wanted to get married. I've always wanted to wear this white dress and walk down the aisle and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's becoming like more of a transaction nowadays. Business transaction. It depends on your belief system too, I think.
I do think marriage is a good security as far as like, okay, let's make sure this works, and kids and everything, they know, like sort of like bringing them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also just, I somewhat don't understand it since it's so old. You know, where it's just like one ex of mine put it, it's just like, it's just religious reasons.
Yeah.
That's, you know, you're following something, a tradition that was laid out, thousands and thousands of years ago, mainly because of like, oh, well, just transaction. It was a transaction. It was like, you marry this and then you get some lands and you get this. You know, it wasn't mainly because of love. It was mainly because of that. Am I wrong in that? You're just,
like back in the day during kingdoms, like when a princess had to marry
even before then.
Unions, because it's a complicated history, because every region kind of had their own version of it.
Of course.
And it culminated, and yes, that's true for a lot of them. And then I know the religious range, like with the ancient Jewish people, it was from the belief system of a union, in the sense that like of the family unit and of like the leadership, and that a man and woman are meant to become one.
Right.
And you're one entity under God as far as that. But I also know in a lot of other parts in the world, it was trading land. And even in that system, they adopted parts of those too. Yeah. So as far as like the direct origin, it's a mix, but it definitely has a lot of that. And it depends where you're coming from. But I also do, so it's funny with the religion thing. The one thing though is like with your story, where it sounds like she's just because of the religion says, you know, you don't divorce, or, you know, or whatever. As a religious person, I disagree, because it sounds like she's not making any work towards rebuilding the relationship. They're like, we're done. This isn't getting rebuilt, but I'm not leaving because that's against my religion. And I think that's where a lot of people get so legalistic with religions, like it's a black and white rule paper book. But the nuance and everything, I think the biggest problem with religious people is they forget the nuance of what the works mean, because obviously works without faith is dead, but faith without works is just as dead. So if you're just following the rule blindly but not putting any actual work that's involved in being married, which is actually building into the relationship and solving the problems, then it's just as dead. And so what's the point of staying around, like, if you're not also willing to put in the work, you know?
I agree.
Damn.
Love it. How about once you're in marriage, do you guys believe in like an old school female and male roles, or what would you say? How would you want to see yourself?
Age, you know? I'm gonna marry as a lesbian, you know. So that's gonna be me.
I don't know if those were the roles she was asking.
I want that. Okay, I get that. You know. So
because I don't agree with the old school roles at all. Like, oh, a woman has to be in the kitchen cooking and taking care of the house, and then the man is just this hardworking man that provides financial support for the family.
That's what it is today. I'm screwed. So, yeah. But
I think it's a balance. I would love to be in like a well-balanced relationship and marriage where
you should marry Victor then.
he's taking already. Damn it. I'm kidding.
Just take 2 wives.
I'm happy for you.
You like white girls.
You can go to Egypt and have 9 if you want.
There you go, Vic. You know.
Just start cloning myself.
Oh my god, I almost got sold in Egypt for like 2 camels and a couple.
What?
Yeah.
What?
No, well, I'm kidding. Obviously, my mom wouldn't sell me, but like the guy offered, like some random dude walks up. Oh, I think I was in a jewelry store with my mom looking for like rings. Okay. And he comes up, he's like, oh, your daughter, and mind you, I was like 15 years old. Your daughter is beautiful. Like, and he offered 2 camels, which was apparently like a lot of money.
Oh, it is, I'm sure.
And a bunch of sheep. And my mom just started laughing. She's like, no, you're not taking my daughter. And then we ran out of the store, but it was funny. And he wanted me to be his, I think, 6th wife.
Oh,
yeah, he was like flat
Jesus
out.
Christ.
Yeah, told me that I was gonna
live
be
the good life.
Yeah, housewife and sister wife. I would have 8 sister wives. That's crazy.
See, that, you know, again, then if we fall back into religion, and what are your thoughts on Mormonism and having multiple wives and shit like that, Vic?
What's mine is mine. I can't have multiple. No, or share it. I can't.
I don't think you could share multiple like husbands, unfortunately.
No, but as a man, even if I was a man, I mean
that's
fun, I guess.
Bee, at least. Like, so yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it. No. I mean, Mormonism is its own category.
How about if you were just the other husband?
Again, I don't know if I would be able to do it.
I think
personally,
you know, for some women, I think honestly, you might need more meat because honestly, you a little much, girl. Just like he takes the night shifts, I'll take the day shifts. You know, we'll switch around because I can only stand 8 hours of you. Like you a job, like that's it. So
kind of,
you know, tag in, out. You know, I feel like that's also a lot of friends and benefits, though, too. It's just like for the women's side, though, like not your side. I'm talking about the hoes. I'm talking about the hoes.
I'm not a hoe. We love that.
Yeah, you're not the hoe, but I'm talking about the hoes that be like, I think we should invite some more people in here. It's just like, okay, man. Just like,
oh my God.
Yeah, you know, like, what about them? You know, where they're doing guys dirty, like, but baby, I love you. Like,
there is a lot of those lately.
Yeah.
I'm just giving up on everybody lately. Like, I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, we need like a fresh start for everybody. The whole planet.
You listen to Gorilla, right?
No.
Glorilla? You don't?
No.
I know you don't know Glorilla.
Glorilla?
Glorilla. And Sexy Red. You know? Oh, damn. Like, I feel like they embody that mentality as far as like female hip hop sort of embodies that mentality of just like, you know, the dude's a bitch. He's my bitch, and I'm gonna get whatever other dude I want.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like
yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion does a lot of rapping about like, oh, you're my bitch, like I own you, kind of situation.
Yeah, your dick ain't nothing. Then I'm going to the next, and just like which.
But honestly, like I'm not trying to be like a feminist and blame it on guys, but like there is a lot of weak men out there nowadays, and it's not necessarily their fault, but they're again.
I'm on my soft era. Okay, soft era. That's it. That's all. You know,
fucking dead. Yeah. So there is a lot of weak men. So we've talked about this when there's a strong woman and that deals with a weak man. He's always gonna feel intimidated, and like automatically a woman is gonna act so much more masculine and. You're gonna feel like a bitch because she is a strong woman and you're a weak man, and the same goes, like I kind of like jumped the topics. The same goes with cheating, for instance, right? When you are with a woman that's a strong-minded woman and you are insecure, you're gonna downgrade. You're gonna go cheat with a prostitute or someone who is less of a woman than her. And you would rather do that instead of work on the relationship that you have with that strong woman and become the man that will build with her because it's one easier way out. But also you're just like not mentally ready to be the men, I guess. But what I was trying to say with the whole like Megan Thee Stallion and how females nowadays are very like belittling if it comes to men, like just... I guess it really comes down to heal. Everybody needs to start healing, and everyone's going to step into their masculine role and then feminine role. And we have gone through a lot as in the world lately. And I just think that a lot of things are not worked on mentally, and we just kind of go through emotions and just
I think I sent you a video about this where traditional traumas, generational traumas, you have your grandmother and then it passes it to a mother, but then it passes it to you. But for you, basically, and I think a lot of us in this generation,
we're trying to break them.
Yeah, we're filtering out all the trauma past us. So the next
generation can be
exactly,
healthier,
next generation will be healed. And
if everybody does it, again, the next generation is going to be better.
But there's going to be people that are fucked up.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
obviously.
always going to be like, that situation or whatever, unfortunately, just because some people don't have it that good. Some people, like, I remember somebody telling me about how they never learned how to deal with a good woman. And when they learned how to deal with bad bitches. And then, like, when they got a good woman, they were just like, what?
Like, what do I do with it?
You want to talk about this? You're okay with me? Yeah.
It's almost like too good to be true for some people, and then they'll self-sabotage anyway because they don't know how to act. It's sad how many opportunities are wasted, but
sometimes in that sadness you have something that you can grow from.
100%. Everything
like
is a
rain
lesson.
brings, which AKA rain is tears. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you were doing that. But yeah, it's just like rain does bring. What would you say? Rain waters plants to grow. So yeah, something like that. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt right there. But yeah, like that's sort of what I'm trying to envision.
April showers bring May flowers. That sounds
Say
like
it louder, bro.
April showers bring May flowers.
Yeah, that's true.
Say it with your chest now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
My God, that just got nothing. I was gonna say,
what the duck? Yeah, what the duck? Yeah. But yeah, no, that's something that's I think that's a really good point of just like how to see another person. Is it worth being with somebody that isn't healed? But everybody has baggage.
Everybody does, and I think if you're willing to help to that person to heal, then and there's a mutual energy exchange and mutual help. I think you can make it work. Even me now, I kind of like, I've been single for a while now, and I've dealt with some traumas and I've healed some, but I still feel like I'm not fully ready to be in a relationship. But then now I feel like it's becoming an excuse for my single life to continue.
I worry about that myself too. But then again, nobody cares about me, so to want to be with me, because I got you, Victor. But yeah,
that universe sends you what people that you like. It's based on your belief system. So what you believe, that's what you receive. It's not necessarily what you think you deserve. So maybe we need to like.
What I deserve? Or
no. So the universe will send you people. So let's say in a hate men era, I will always get shitty men sent to me because that's what I believe. Like, men are shitty, so I'm going to get shitty men. The second I switch my mentality to like, there are great men out there, there is a man for me, I will start receiving better men. And I'm a proof for that. Like, I've been receiving better men. Whoever sends them my way, they're better. Mine is obviously the one that I just mentioned earlier. But I think for you, like, once you switch that mentality to like, hey, I am going to be happy one day. I am finding that woman that maybe like write down, hey, like, this is my dream woman. This is what I want.
No, but I think that, and Vic said that before to me, but I think that's also where it comes back into forgiveness for me.
Yes.
Where I was just like, maybe I don't believe that internally, or maybe what I really think is like, I have to be financially okay before I get a good woman, where I know you're okay with it, but more so it's just like, am I okay with being with a woman that is good with her life and I can't provide for her? Am I gonna be okay in that
like your
setting?
Ego and your ego? Okay,
everything in that, because at the
what
same
if you
time,
have a woman that literally tells you, hey, I got you. Like, we got each other. Let's build together. Because at the end of the day, a true woman.
Yeah, but would you be like, what happens if that man isn't shit?
What do you mean?
Like, he works hard as hell, but he doesn't become anything.
So
How long until you like
So I don't, my very first question when I go on a date is like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, and if someone's like, I don't know, there's never going to be a second date.
That is such a scary question.
Yeah.
Yeah. First date?
Not right away, but I like, getting
you saw. I'd be like, fuck out of here, first date. You get the bill, I'm out of here. Like, I'm done. Soft boy era. Gone.
Dude, I used to get asked, like, what's your credit score? Like, just because, like, someone wanted to...
As a joke, I get it, but...
No, like someone wanted to be with me. He knew who I am as a person already, and they were like, oh, what's your credit score? Because if I'm going to marry you one day, that better be fucking over 700. And I'm
on
like...
the first date?
No, like, third or fourth, but still kind of relatively, like, quick. I was like, I've never got that question that quick, But he knew what he wanted with me. His intentions were set from the beginning, and he was asking very direct questions. And, an insecure woman would get scared of them. And I was very just like, hey, this is what it is. Like, I didn't give him an actual score, but I told him I'm very financially stable. I knock on the wood, don't have to complain. I'm blah, 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 blah. But I do ask that question because I can't be with someone who's ambitious. Is that a word?
Yes.
As long as you have...
That's it.
Put on a shirt, then it's official.
As long
ambitious
as you...
right here.
Shut up, you are. You're ambitious.
Thank you.
If you don't have an idea for yourself, I'm not saying you have to necessarily be that person within the next 5 years, but if you don't have an idea for where you're heading,
fair.
I can't connect with you mentally. I can't... There's not going to be much to talk about because you know me, I'm very driven and I like to piggyback off of. Yeah, thank you. Jeez, I have a hard time speaking today. Ideas, like where are we going next? Like me and my roommate Mason, who I love, we are like that. Our friendship is so awesome because she'll come up with an idea. I'm like, you know what? Why don't we add this to this? And she's like, yeah. And then we had this conversation recently where it's like we need to be with people who are very driven. I don't care where you're heading. It's just growth. That's what I'm trying to see in you. So answering your question, you don't necessarily need to be super financially stable at this moment. But if you have an idea for yourself for the future, I will be interested.
Okay.
Because I know I can help you. I'm going to be that rock for you. I'm going to give you ideas. I'm going to inspire you. I will give you a constructive criticism that you probably don't want to hear, but, a strong
woman, and I've met them, is they encourage you and they try to help you out in whatever way possible. Like just a couple of years ago when I was still somewhat talking to my exes and stuff like that, they were trying to help me get weddings. They were trying to figure out ways where I can make money. And
hell yeah.
God bless them. When those are kind of features that or characteristics that I look for now in a woman, where it's just like
she's gonna push you to do better,
to help you to
And a lot of people, sorry to interrupt you quick, but a lot of men take this offensively, like, oh, you're gonna tell me what to do, I'm okay where I am now. Why are you pushing me to do better? Like, well, you're trying to tell me that I'm not good enough. They take it in such a wrong way whereas it should be like, hey, I want you to thrive. I see your potential. I'm looking from the outside, point of view, and I want you to become somebody. So why are you taking this offensively? Just grow. Victor wants to say something. Yeah.
I was just going to add in just two things this sparked from my experience. I guess it's two kind of harsh realities that when you commit to making a relationship work, kind of no matter what, when you understand you love the person, but then there's all this other life stuff, work, ambitions, this and that, right?
Right.
The one thing is you got to be willing to let your ego die on some points, because the things that worked for you single life some of those things will be the death of a relationship.
I agree.
And even though it worked perfect for you in that life, you might have to let that go and let it die if you want the relationship to go.
Yep.
Damn.
And it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, depending what it is, because sometimes it's understanding that an ambition is something you love, but it's also that may drag things down to a place you don't want it to be dragged down, and you might need to make a pivot. And then, so that was one big point. I forgot the other point, so I'll get back to you on that.
I told my ex that he's gonna marry his ego one day.
Oh shit.
So he's not gonna get married. Like he might get married and then not be happy because I know he's just a whole let me show.
Well, he could be happy. Let's hope for that.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Let's hope for that.
But also understand, it gives...
No, but sure.
Like, no, not really. Fuck him.
I will say this, though.
Got
with the whole death of the ego thing, it's also so you can give birth to a new system that works for both of you as a unit. You know, so it's like, it's not just a negative.
Yeah,
it's
entering relationship,
so
it's like a new you is born in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel that with Victor, unfortunately. The only reason why this relationship is forced to continue is because of business. Other than
I want to see the background.
You.
We should show them like the background recordings of you guys just talking to each other. It's amazing. That's like on Buy Me a Coffee. You're going to see Victor's.
I'm going to get like jailed up just like, you cause this man too much abuse. It's like on a daily.
I feel so bad.
What are you yelling at him for? It's just like, that's how I talk to him.
It's a
like,
true bromance. You guys have an actual relationship. It's crazy. I think you guys deserve to know that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
We might have to show them some backstage
but I think,
scenes.
Again, this relationship, unfortunately, has helped me to grow and see and try to gain more patience and understanding of things.
And I feel like it gives you hope too for a healthier relationship.
Yeah. But then I talk to you and I'm like, nah, fuck all that. Yeah. Then he says about like death of ego. I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna keep my ego, bro. You crazy? What? I'm gonna give half my shit away? They didn't work for this shit.
A good woman make you also. It gives you that soft era, you know, because I think men need that too sometimes because you guys are so scared of being vulnerable, and it's the most beautiful thing you can give a woman. Like once you show your vulnerability, she'll do anything for you, and vice versa. I feel like too. So it works both ways.
I can't say it's happened, but all the time. Can't say it's happened all the time. I've been vulnerable with some women and they've been great at it, and some other women I've had to coach them while I'm crying. But yes, like they you know, it's not everybody is as understanding and open to that idea as you are.
Yeah, I
unfortunately,
guess
because some women see a man cry and they'll be like, "Stop being a little bitch, or else I'm gonna leave." And it's like, how am I supposed to be vulnerable? And how am I supposed to trust the world that same person isn't going to do the same thing?
But you need to trust yourself and say, if someone says that to you, then be like, leave. You know what I mean? Like you have to be confident within who you are and your emotion, and be aware of your emotions. And if a woman says that, like, all right, you're always going to be with these masculine boys that don't cry, but then they're going to abuse you and they're going to, you know, not give you a communication that you're looking for down the road. Like, you know, that again, we're talking about someone who's, let's say, emotionally, you know, mature, and then the woman is not emotionally mature because she tells you, oh, you're crying, you little bitch. Like, really? Like, you cry on your period every month. Like, calm down. You know what I mean? It's just like, I hate that stuff. I hate judging other people about their emotions. I mean, I don't want to have a man that cries over a broken pencil, you know, but if it's something that really, you know, is hard on your heart, I want you to come to me. I want you to be my baby. I will, you know, this is, women are nurturing.
Don't worry.
You were on my lap the other day, crying for coffee. We can repeat that anytime you need. But, you know, women's role is very nurturing, I believe. And we are a little bit more emotional than men. I think because
one person put it to me is like, when you speak to a man, and this is for women, speak to the good of him. Speak to him like as a king, not to manipulate him, but to guide him to the right way. Because if you speak just down to him, he's just unfortunately not going to be that.
And that's something I failed at in my past relationship, where things when we're going south on his end, when he started disrespecting me, I had a very hard time still kind of communicating my concerns in a positive way. Like you said, like if I maybe had put in this way, like, hey, I love how you are with this and I love how you do this, but certain things can be worked on. I guess I got to the point where like I was disrespected so many times, and I repetitively mentioned my concerns and nothing was solved, like we've talked about this before, I was at that point where I was like, you're honestly a piece of shit. Like I was like, you're like, the fact that you're disrespecting me, you're garbage. Like I was just very belittling to him. So I can see why he felt like, all right, like I have nothing good to bring to this relationship. Let me just go and cheat because I'm not strong enough to let her go. So let me just go do my thing because she thinks of me so little. You know, I can see how that works. So yeah, it's just hard. I guess that's a different situation too, because like, how am I supposed to speak to him as a king when he's treating me like garbage?
And that's strength. Yeah. And that's that's really the strong point of just like, oh, okay, one of two things. One, being able to cut it there, or two,
which
or
I
just
did,
like,
thank God.
Yeah. Or two, which is, trying to bring out the betterment of that person, which is, it's hard to teach older folks to do new tricks versus like a baby or a kid, But Vic, what are we on time right now?
It is 3:24.
Okay, so
we're good.
I think we're guys. Take this with a nice grain of salt if you want, or a cup of milk. I don't give a fuck. So, Paulina, you want to say anything?
No, just happy to be back. We took a little bit of a break, but we're going to be back and consistent. So if you guys want to comment on anything that we discussed today, definitely share it with us. We love to connect and hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, you will hear more of us soon.
Yes. And also, remember, there's going to be a new segment, new series on Buy Me a Coffee. So go on there, log in, purchase us a coffee, and you'll get some more content of me, Paulina, and Victor, and maybe a guest sometimes, maybe a drunk episode. You tell us.
We might dress up for you. You never know.
Yeah. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. But yeah. So remember, guys, go to PND Podcast, official. Like us, subscribe, all
give
that
us
good
some
stuff.
Love.
Yeah.
Thanks,
we
guys.
give you so much love,
See you next time.
Yeah.